So what a fun debate last night. What a great, fun debate. What a great conversation for America. So good job, Democratic Party. It was fun. It was entertaining. We all got to learn something. Essentially, they were, not below the belt. Most of the time they weren't, criticisms below the belt. But essentially they were pointing out the differences in policy. So it was a real debate. The Las Vegas debate did not disappoint. Even though there was only 6 candidates that showed up, there's still Tulsi Gabbard and there's still Tom Steyer, so don't forget about Tulsi and Tom Steyer. And let's go through what happened. So what all happened at this debate? A shit ton of things happened. Okay, so Amy was, getting criticized by Pete, and she just couldn't take it, and she's just like, you're just so perfect, aren't you, Pete? You think you're just so perfect. You don't know how hard it is. I'm in here and I'm trying to do a good job. Okay, Amy, chill out. Like Pete, I almost wondered if Pete Buttigieg was just leveling criticisms at Amy just to see if she could hold up, because she seemed absolutely stunned when Liz Warren had criticized her health care plan. So Liz Warren said that Amy's health care plan is just 2 paragraphs. It's just a Post-it note. And Liz also said that Pete's health care plan is just a PowerPoint. So Pete doesn't have a real health care plan. Amy doesn't have a real health care plan. Only Liz and Bernie has some kind of plan. So, yeah, you just think you're so perfect, don't you? You do. I know you do. You think you're so perfect. You don't know what it's like to be out in the arena. You don't know what it's like. But Pete, even though he was able to get some interesting reactions, I wonder if he was just seeing if she could handle it, which I don't think she can, right? Being surrounded by a bunch of yes men throwing staplers at people, it's almost like Pete, I almost think that Pete was trying to provoke her into maybe slugging him. I don't know. The placement on the stage, you had Elizabeth Warren right next to Mike Bloomberg, and she, absolutely eviscerated him. But I want to say a little bit more about that. But yeah, Mike Bloomberg got, destroyed. For the people that was watching the debates, for the people that are closely watching the debates, that are trying to see the policy differences. But so anyways, Pete is a millennial, but he's out of touch with the millennials. He says that because Amy didn't know the president of Mexico, that she's not qualified to be president, which is absolutely right. She's been a senator for how many years? For at least 2 terms, for 12 years? And you don't even know Abelardo, whatever the guy's name is, been president for, how many years? And he's been in there for 4 years. I'm familiar with his policies. But I do think you should know who the president of Mexico is. But I could also see that it's like a Jeopardy question that, you're going to try to out-trivia everybody. Maybe that's how debates should go. It should just be trivia. Who's the president of Mexico? Who's the president of Canada? Who's the president of China? And so that would be good. But that's what he was criticizing her for. And Amy asked Pete because of criticizing, because he was basically saying, you're a senator. How do you not know the president of Mexico? But Pete, when they asked him if he knew the Mexican president, he was like, it's Abelardo, right? I hope. So, yeah, God, all you got to do is quiz these candidates. Everybody tries to find these gotcha questions. All you got to do is just say, who's the president of Canada? Who's the leader of Iceland? Who is running Botswana? Who is running South Africa? So, yeah, I almost feel like the American people, we need just a debate, not a debate, we need a Jeopardy contest. They need to get on Jeopardy and run against each other just to see if they have the knowledge to do what it takes. I mean, not knowing the Mexican president isn't disqualifying by itself, but if you didn't know and you didn't learn, she learned it, so she did what you're supposed to do, right? You admit your ignorance. A wise person admits their ignorance, and then they could fill that, gaping hole of ignorance in with some knowledge. So she could have just, said that. But she goes, are you mocking me? Are you calling me dumb? And I don't know if he was just saying that it's, unbecoming, so he's kind of lecturing her. And Amy asked Pete, when Pete is relentless in his criticisms, Pete wasn't mean, he wasn't loud, he wasn't angry. He was making the case she's not presidential for kind of dumb little reasons, and that, she doesn't know who the Mexican president is. He does, so therefore he is presidential. So I think if she would have just stayed calm and just attacked him on the merits of the argument. But Pete Buttigieg rattled Amy Klobuchar's cage. I'm not for sure. I hope she's okay. If anybody is around Amy Klobuchar, maybe give her a hug. Tell her she did a good try. She's not going to be the president. It's okay. That's she. Stuck her neck out there when other people didn't. So hopefully Amy Klobuchar is okay, even though people are going to say that Michael Bloomberg got destroyed. There's an article that said the Las Vegas police issued out a warrant for the other 5 candidates for, killing him for murder. And it's a funny joke because basically if you're paying attention and you're watching, I think Bloomberg on his own, he kind of destroyed himself with his own policies. All you had to do is Google search Mike Bloomberg and to know he's a piece of shit. But, yeah, so, okay, so Pete rattled Amy's cage hard. He rattled the fuck out of Amy's cage. And Liz criticized Amy. Amy seemed stunned that, no, not you too, Elizabeth. Et tu, Brute. Et tu, Brute. So Liz criticized Klobuchar, and she was just kind of like, girlfriend, I thought, girl power, what happened? Didn't you go see Birds of Prey? We're supposed to stick together. So Liz says that Pete's healthcare plan is more of a PowerPoint than an actual plan. And then Pete said, well, he's actually more of a Microsoft Word kind of guy, which, I don't know. Is that funny? It's kind of, he knows something about something, but open office all the way, but, Pete is lame. Pete is lame. So Bloomberg was on stage. Now, he did get destroyed, but I almost will say Amy got destroyed more because she was rattled, whereas Bloomberg is getting, hammered left and right on his policies. He's just kind of taking it in stride. And I don't have any, I'm not trying to say Bloomberg is awesome and you should go vote for him. I'm saying I'm voting for Bernie Sanders, and I have been underestimating Bloomberg up until then. So he was the Oz behind the curtain, right? He's the Oz behind the curtain, and now he came out from behind the curtain. So I think it did humanize him, and I think it did normalize him for his candidacy, because he stood right next to all those other candidates who have been in this thing for, months. But they're not going to unionize and strike against him. No, the DNC said, that's the rules. The DNC said we got to stand next to him. I guess we got to stand next to him. He is poll number 2. So that's, with at least 4 polls, he had to poll at least 10%. So, I think there is some argument to say that he's leading in the polls, so therefore, he's one of America's top 3 or 4. So Bloomberg was there. He's in the latest Trump 2.0. Terrible policies. Total piece of shit. He's sitting there talking about how you plebes use TurboTax. Only you plebes use TurboTax. But us billionaires, we need dozens of lawyers, thousands of pages of documents to do our finances. Only, we don't use TurboTax, right? Liz, she says that we run the risk if we just substitute one arrogant billionaire for another arrogant billionaire. So Elizabeth Warren, just kind of just punching people, just 1, 2, 1, 2, just kind of keep on. She was awesome. She was great, so Bernie needs to pick her as a VP so she quits siphoning those progressive votes away from Bernie. The moderator did ask Bernie Sanders, how come you didn't Facebook live stream your heart attack? They're acting like he's got something to hide. He's going to keep his medical records a secret. So, Bernie Sanders, what are you trying to hide from the American public? Do you have polio in secret? Are you even able to walk? Is it like FDR where you're in a wheelchair but you're pretending, that you're still able to walk? And then Bernie Sanders, he says, there's a report from 2 cardiologists. I told you this. I give you a letter, this information. I got a doctor who goes around with me everywhere I go. I'm in good shape. Look at me. I'm excited. He's old. Yeah, so, I mean, how come you didn't Facebook live stream your heart attack? We want more information. We need to know every bit of it. He had a fucking heart attack. That was, very serious and shit. Hopefully he's okay. If anything, it makes me worried. We need to get him into the presidency as soon as possible, and we got to make sure he's got a super-duper progressive as VP. So, shit, that might be Liz Warren's path to the White House. Be Bernie's VP, consolidate the progressive vote, and then Bernie smashes all this neoliberal demolition derby, right? While Pete and Joe and Bloomberg and all these other assholes are running to the right. You have this big neoliberal demolition derby where they're just crashing into each other, and then Bernie just, like a badass walks right through the middle, unscathed, not a scratch, and onwards to victory. In relation to Bernie saying that billionaires shouldn't exist, Chuck Brown, Todd asked Bloomberg, should you exist? Yeah, great question, Chuck Todd. Should you exist? Not him as a human, as a person, as an individual. Him as a billionaire. Should you have all that fucking money since all these homeless people, are sleeping on the street? Should you have obscene amount of money when people in America don't even have food to eat? Elizabeth Warren stopped and frisked Bloomberg with a medical glove. It was a strike force, wolf pack and jump off, boy beatdown. It is excessive force. I would say Liz Warren used excessive force. While people are going to use violent imagery in order to describe this debate, it's all metaphor. It's how the media and it's how, comedians, and really it's how people talk in a way. Because he walked out unscathed. Mike got, basically his policies was criticized heavily, but he basically just, brushed it off his shoulder. He responded. He gave some answer, whether you liked it or not. So he showed up for the debate. He's been normalized. That just means Bloomberg is, some kind of threat. He's a neoliberal. I think they're all going to crash and burn into each other. But he's number 2. That's remarkable. Joe Biden has been campaigning for a year. Bloomberg just gets in there for 3 months, and now he's number 2. He's number 2, and that's the first debate that he went to. So, I think I don't want to say that I don't like Mike Bloomberg. I don't want him to be president. I don't like his policies. But that debate humanized him. It normalized his candidacy. He doesn't have to go to any of the other debates from here on out, right? Now he looks like a candidate. He stood next to Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren. He's been normalized. He absolutely has. So, if anything, I'm just saying, don't underestimate Bloomberg. I've been underestimating Bloomberg the whole time, and now I'm kind of like, shit. Oz came out from behind the curtain, and he's a person. He's a human. So, to say that he wasn't humanized, we saw his, face and his body. I guess he could be some kind of alien. He is in another class. He is in another bracket for everybody else. So it gives me no pleasure. It gives me no pleasure to say that. It's also a judgment call because, he got eviscerated, his arguments, his policies. If you're a progressive and you're watching these things, not everybody watches these debates. But, I think him being on the stage, it normalized him and humanized him. And he also had a couple good points, and I'll get to that in a second, too. So that's also not to minimize everybody else. Elizabeth Warren kicked ass. She exposed the non-disclosure agreements. All Bloomberg had to do is just say, all right, everybody in a non-disclosure agreement, you're now released. That's all, Donald has to do. That's all any of these people with NDAs. But he stayed humble about it. He said, look, we made an agreement. The other parties were wanting everybody to keep the matter quiet, too. So he admitted to one trouble, which he got some boost for. He said he told a joke that they took offense to, and they go, oh! We could see what the joke was, right? So he's trying to appeal to the people, and that's, to be defensive, it doesn't ever look good. But that's it. So he responded, and he said, look, the other parties wanted to keep it private too, so we're just respecting what everybody, in the matter said. And so he was saying that he wasn't going to release all the NDAs. We don't know how many NDAs there are. And Liz Warren made the case, essentially, that, the way she couched her argument was that, you got some women out there that you harassed. You got women out there that was harassed and discriminated against, by you. And you won't let them speak up. Let them speak up. Let's hear their side of the story. So we're totally assuming that and then it was her. And so I think, Elizabeth Warren did a good job exposing Mike Bloomberg on that. I hated Mike Bloomberg for all this other shit. I didn't want him to be, basically he's, on a precipice. If a rooster lays an egg on a roof, is it going to go left or is it going to go right? So his arguments were eviscerated, but he showed up, and he was able to make a couple good points. So I didn't want to argue about this the whole fucking time, but it just pisses me off that, I put out 2 videos criticizing Bloomberg. Does the Bernie Bros, do people show you fucking support? No, people can't show you support, even for shit that they like. And so, when it comes to Donald and a Bloomberg, they pay for people just to say something nice to them about on the internet. Here, I think that I'm trying to, get an organic growth, but I can't even get, my friends and allies to give me a fucking support. How hard is it to like a motherfuckers? Thing. If you want to see more things of what you like the things that you like, and then you'll see more of those things that you like. But people can't do that because it's like, wait, I'm not going to validate your humanity. I like people's shit all fucking day. I validate y'all's humanity all fucking day. Well, it's just, when I look at Bloomberg and Trump and why are we in the state that we're in, so Bloomberg is going to pay some assholes to like his stuff on Twitter and Facebook and shit. So when Bloomberg just says, we need to stop gun violence, he's going to get 1 million fucking likes, and then these other assholes are going to actually jump on board for real. Well, look at all the people that love Bloomberg. He created the illusion. Now people are jumping onto his bandwagon for real. So the illusion of paid audience, that's how people are rising and falling in America. It's not about merit. We're not trying to say, oh, you got a great argument. I like what you're doing. We don't elevate each other. It's dog-eat-dog capitalism. So you can't even like another person's status. But if someone says something you agree with, or you can say, well, I don't agree with that at all. Okay? So you're a disagreeable asshole. Do you have reasons? People want to talk about Bernie Bros being dicks. Bernie Bros are dicks. And ultimately, I believe in the golden rule, so I want people to treat me as I would want to be treated. And so, therefore, because I don't, you just want to be a disagreeable asshole, why don't you give me some reasons? Why don't you give me some logic? I know you're an asshole. I know you're an asshole. I fucking know it. To the core of my bones, I know you're assholes. What I don't know is, how come you're not supportive? How come if somebody doesn't do something that you like? I'm not saying, hey, people like my stuff, even if you don't like it, but if you see something that somebody else posts and you like it, what's so fucking hard about just giving a person, hey, a nice thumbs up? It's like people are secret, and they're a bunch of creepy-ass fucks, and they'll look at your stuff and they'll like it, but it's like, I'm not going to give them a like. That's too much. That's too much validation to give a fucking like to somebody. Jesus Christ. Human connection, human interaction. This is like what makes life worth living. And if all people want to do is just be shitty to you, maybe this is the point. I want to do videos and try to get more people to vote for Bernie Sanders, but they want to stop. They want to Rush Limbaugh me, right? They can't say, oh, yeah, I put out 2 videos saying Bloomberg's a piece of shit. So you could like it, you could have commented on it, you could have said a whole bunch of stuff. But then I said Bloomberg was humanized, and now people are acting like, humanized? What? How dare you say something somewhat nice to another kid? Bloomberg's a piece of shit. I don't like his personality. I don't like his policies. I don't like his position in this world. I don't like how he's been so fucking powerful this whole time, and then just, we didn't even know who the hell he was, and then he just kind of comes out of nowhere, and now he's like over-inundated, us with who the fuck he is. Bloomberg's, all over the goddamn place. So I hate Bloomberg's supporters. I hate Bloomberg himself. I hate his policies. But yet, Bernie Bros on the internet want to be like, Hey, you can't say that. Shut the fuck up. I think about this stuff, and I've been pressing on. So whether or not you motherfuckers are supportive or not, it's I have a beating heart, and I keep on breathing. So as long as I'm living, then I'm going to keep on living. But you motherfuckers, I swear to God, Jesus Christ. You could hear a person, say 100 things, and you agree with every single fucking one of them, but as soon as they say something you don't agree with, so I'm supposed to stop in my tracks and be like, oh, okay, well, shit, the great fucking Miles whoever. Oh, great, the great Vonda is here. Okay, Vonda, you disagreed. So, do you have a reason? Are you going to educate us? You just disagree? Okay. Did you agree with any of the 20 posts I posted prior to this? Because the whole point of me saying any of this stuff is to get Bernie Sanders elected. So if a bunch of Bernie bros is going to shit on another Bernie bro, they're not looking at the big picture. They're not looking at the big picture at all. At all. And so, yeah, you want to convince me of something? Bring me some logic. Bring me some reasoning. But just disagreeing just to disagree? Fuck that. Fuck that. I don't need a disagreeable asshole. He's like, you know what? You know what I need around here? I need someone to just say, you're fucking wrong, and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. No, I don't need that. What I need is someone just to be like, oh, you did a thing, and it was good? Well, good job doing that good thing. Keep on doing that good thing. If I don't need that. I would like to have that, instead of just having to validate myself. Yeah, but, so, I mean, in a way, Bernie bros are fucking assholes. Bernie bros have been assholes to me before because I'm thoughtful about shit. So I'm not trying to, I play chess. So just be like, Bernie's my guy and everybody else sucks. That's stupid. I think that's really dumb. Liz Warren has got a lot of super progressive ideas. So does Pete. And here, you're putting me on the defensive, so you're going to make me defend, I'm not defending Bloomberg. If anything, I'm warning Bernie bros and Bernie supporters and Bernie Sanders himself that Bloomberg is a threat. Do not underestimate Bloomberg, right? I mean, 24%, he's at number 2. Now you just humanized him. And I don't think there's knockout punches. I don't believe there's any knockout punches at all. I mean, some people say Tulsi knocked out Kamala Harris because she just kind of, just pulled the curtain back. So the curtain's pulled back, but Mike Bloomberg ran an ad as soon as the debate was over. And he ran the ad saying, I'm going to have to redo this whole fucking thing. See, Bernie brothers want to fucking piss you off, get you all discombobulated, so you don't get Bernie elected? You don't even, I mean, my God, if you know my direction is to get Bernie Sanders elected, and you're a Bernie bro, and you want to get him elected too, why the fuck would you stop me? Why the fuck would you just be like, hey, I'm a contrarian asshole, and I didn't like that one thing you said. I probably liked everything else, but I didn't even notice it because I'm a dick. Well, we don't need more assholes. We don't need more dicks. Bernie bros do need to be better stewards of Bernie Sanders. I mean, we're on the same side. But if we're all a bunch of slaves and we're just going to try to, kneecap each other, if we just slightly, give each other the stink eye, well, what fucking good is that? What fucking good is that? So Biden was right when he said that all Bloomberg had to do was just release the non-disclosure agreement, but he refused to do so. So Bloomberg, that's all any of them had to do. That's all Trump, that's all Bloomberg had to say about it. So basically implying that the other parties were wanting everybody to keep the matter quiet. So Bloomberg was just respecting the, consenting agreement of all the parties. And he admitted to saying a joke, so she could be like, what was the joke? Was it about black folks? What was the joke? Was it a sexist joke? Huh? And, yeah, I'm going to come back to this. It's a little frustrating. I've done a couple Bernie updates every day. I want to keep Bernie Sanders in everybody's consciousness up until Super Tuesday, because I think these 2 weeks are the most vital. These 2 weeks are the most important. But motherfuckers, I guess, they've been my friend the whole time. They don't see any bots liking my stuff, and so they got to be the human. They got to be the first human to actually do a human thing. And, it's fucking bullshit. It's just fucking bullshit. I can't even get my friends to like the stuff that they like. You liked it, so then like it. Oh, you can't give me any credit. You can't let me know that's something I did you like. Why? Why can't you let if you like the thing that a person did? I think positive reinforcement is the only thing that works. So if you're not giving any positive reinforcement to anybody, so we just got a bunch of fucking assholes and a bunch of, people that kisses asshole. We got a bunch of, bullies, and we got a bunch of people that kiss these bullies' ass, but we don't have anybody that actually want to just interact with each other as the complicated, interesting individuals that we are. I would love to get into physics and mathematics and science. What do you believe in when it comes to technology? They were talking about how what the light can be both an object and energy. I think it's all about quantum computing. What the fuck are they? What the fuck are they meaning? Do they know exactly what the science is of all this shit, or they just know that it happens and it works and fuck it? Say love. Here's here's electricity. We don't know how electricity works, but here you go. Hopefully you don't get shocked to death. Oh, anyways, he did say this conversation is ridiculous, and in some respects, Winston Churchill and Mitch McConnell said that the best argument against democracy is 5 minutes with an average voter. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, there's so many fucking dumb fucking assholes out here who don't know how to live, who don't know how to be, who don't have your back, who don't support you, who only want to see you go down, and that's all they can express. And that's a terrible culture. Bernie Sanders needs to get elected just so people can be decent to each other. I mean, I guess people get off to wanting to be shitty assholes to one another. It's like, yes, I got to be shitty to them. Okay, I guess you're the winner. You're the winner. Anyways, fascinating, debate. I'm gonna come back with some more stuff in a minute. Peace. Vote for Bernie. I don't know why this is.